You good?
I'll dig when I'll hopefully find something, just add something if I can, or I'll send it to you. Yeah, and I'll let you know if, you're fine. Okay, I will. Bye.
How are you, sir?
Y'all look like you're waiting for a meeting or something. Hey, Doctor. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
I'm unable. Yeah.
Oh, just one time. Is that okay?
It's fine.
I'll try.
It's all.
What's up? All right, good evening. Welcome to the August 11th regularly scheduled council meeting. Thank everyone for joining us. Just want to say thanks to Jason for leading our agenda meeting last week while I was out. Appreciate that.
You did a great job. Good.
Yeah, did a great job. It was a good meeting. I'd like to welcome Dr. Henderson, who will be leading us in the invocation in just a moment. Dr. Henderson is a retired cardiologist after 40 years in practice and currently serves as the minister to the senior members at Downtown Church and faithfully serves Mission Machine. And Dr. Henderson, if you'd like to, I know there's a special project that's getting close to completion. I wanted to know if you wanted to give everybody a quick update on that project while you're here. All righty. Well, if you will, Dr. Henderson, come on up, and then Tommy's going to lead us in our pledge right after the invocation.
I was mentioned beforehand about what we call the Tiny Homes Project. This is a building that has 8 separate living units in it that is designed to be a place for lodging for the people who are chronically homeless. Our present campuses on the bypass and on North Main are for those who are temporarily homeless. But this building was constructed for the people who are permanently homeless. And 60 to 70% of them is because of severe mental illness. And they've been estranged from their families. And the building, we're taking possession of it next week. Patrick Connell has been our pro bono contractor. The estimated cost of the building was going to be $330,000. With all the donated labor and donated materials, the cost is going to be like $138,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
The community has really come forward.
That's wonderful. And I know you poured your heart into that project as well.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you so much for this beautiful day. We thank you for how you bless us and how you love us. And you're such a good God. And Father, we are so grateful for your blessings and for the forgiveness that we have through your Son. And Father, we thank you for the country that we live in, for the freedoms that we enjoy. And we are so grateful for that. And we pray that you'll continue to watch over our country and our state and this city. And that you will protect us. And Father, help us to do your will. And Father, we're so grateful for these people who donate their time to guide our city. And we pray that you'll be with them in this meeting tonight, that you'll give them wisdom to make the right decisions, and just watch over them and bless them in their work. Father, we thank you for every blessing. We thank you most of all for Jesus. and it's through him we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, please place the flag. I pledge allegiance
Justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, prior to the council meeting, we have 3 public hearings this evening. If you plan to speak at one of the public hearings, please come up to the podium and state your name and your address. The first public hearing is regarding approving amounts of liens to be certified to the White County Tax Collector against certain properties as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances. This hearing is now open. Is anybody here to speak to this item? Seeing none, this hearing is now closed. The second public hearing is regarding receiving public comment on the application for a State Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism Outdoor Recreation Matching Grant. This public hearing is now open. Is anyone here to speak on this item? Seeing none, this hearing is now closed. And the third public hearing is regarding receiving public comment for declaring 508 West Woodruff Avenue as a nuisance property. This public hearing is now open. Is anyone here to speak on this item? Seeing none, this public hearing is now closed. We will now call to order the council meeting. Jason, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirkland.
Here.
Mr. Morris.
Here.
Mr. Howell.
Here.
Mr. Cardwell. Mrs. Hale.
Here.
Mr. Rainey.
Here.
Mr. Brewer. Here. Mr. Challenberg.
Here.
First up, approval of minutes from the July 14th, 2026 regular meeting.
I read the minutes, they were very adequate. I'd make a motion they be approved as they are printed.
Okay, we have a motion by Mrs. Hale. Mr. Morris, is that a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howell.
Yes.
Mr. Cardwell. Yes. Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer. Mr. Challenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland.
Yes.
Next up, the treasurer's report.
Month of July, our fund balances across the city ended at $23.2 million. The general fund was at $7.6 million, the street fund at $1.3 million, the reserve account at $6.6 million, and our project reserve account at $4.8. Our other funds in aggregate landed at a little over $2.7 million. Base revenue wise, we came in for the month at $2.876 million. That is up about $100,000 from last month. It was at $2.775. The good news is that operationally we were about $600,000 less from June to what we spent in July, down to $2.23 million. So that gave us an excess revenue over expense of approximately $760,000. Revenues, as I said, were still flat. That's not unique to us. I was at a finance conference last week where both the city of Rogers and Conway both stated that their revenues are experiencing a flat pattern this year as well. So it's not just us. So glad to know it wasn't unique to us. On the cash flow page, next page, inflows for the month was $2.88 million. For that net change in cash of $646,000. I'm hoping that we can have 2 more positive months going into the fall. Right now we have reserve cash on hand of 98 days. Our goal is to have 3 months of 90, and cash on hand, we have 7.6 months of cash on hand throughout the city. The next page is the reserve page with the updated amounts and balances on the projects that we have outstanding that we're reserved for. Few on deck priorities and our grant, live grants that are going on below. The next page is our emergency reserves, which is the 6.6 million. Shows the mix of the banks we're using and the rates we have on those. The next page is our sales tax page. Again, it's gonna show to be very comparable to last year. We still haven't surpassed what we've collected at this point last year, but we're very, very close. No significant rebates in the month, $27,000 roughly. And then the last page is our list of other balances in the city. If anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to entertain those.
Jason, just a point of clarification on that first page where you have the general fund and it shows a change of almost $10 million. That's because we created that reserve account for
Correct.
projects and the money just simply moved. It's still there.
That's correct. It shifted into the emergency reserves and the restricted projects.
Deal. Thank you for the report. Any comments or questions from council? Thanks, Jason. All right, that moves us into the next section. First up, we have, I know there was an update given by the chief and some discussion items regarding flock camera usage and the contracts that we have. Is there any further discussion or questions from the council on that? I know there's a recommendation to terminate those contracts. So is that a direction the council would like to go in?
Did I understand that we would be looking at an alternate system?
Yeah, that's my understanding. Steve, you wanna, I'm sorry, chief.
Before anybody takes that and runs with it, so when you say alternate system,
Right.
we're looking for alternate surveillance for our city parks, not. an
But not a
alternate-
similar system.
Not a similar system to what Flock does. We're just looking for something to keep our investment in our city parks secure, is all we're looking for.
So security cameras, more like standard security.
Correct.
Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you.
When are the contracts up? Are they, is it different times?
They're staggered, yeah,
March, April, and October of next year.
yeah. But we will be, if the council moves forward with this, this evening, we'll submit a letter to Flock and see how we can push that along. So. Alright, so I'd entertain a motion from the council if that's an action that y'all would like to take.
So
We have a motion by Mr. Brewer, second by Mr. Challenger. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes,
Mr. Rainey?
yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Challenger?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Item number 2, approval to fill 2 positions within the Parks and Rec Department in quarter 4 of 2026, the ramp manager and trails coordinator. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Challenberg,
Second.
second by Mr. Morris. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Carter?
Yes. I was writing my name down and making a second and I just said, sorry.
No.
No. Mrs. Hale?
so can you come back to me since I was not here Thursday, let me look at this chart one more time, please?
All right. Mr. Rainey?
No.
Mr. Brewer?
No, not in a situation.
Mr. Challenger?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
No, not at this time.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
No,
Just so I have this down right, Mr. Kirkman, what was yours?
No.
Okay, Mr. Morris, what was yours?
I voted no. I mean, I voted yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, and then Mr. Howell.
Yes.
It's 5-3.
Okay,
Was it 5-3?
1, 2, 3, 4. And then, yeah, and then Mrs. Hale was new.
Wasn't it 4-4?
Cargill, no Hale, no Rainey, Brewer, and Kirkman, so that'd be 5-3. Five no's,
Okay.
3 yeses. Okay,
I would like to, can I expand on this? for
please,
something?
yeah.
The Trails Coordinator is not, on this agenda, it's not listed as contract labor, but it is contract labor, is that correct?
Correct.
My problem, I mean, if these, you wanna separate these two and go again, I don't have a problem with the contract labor Trails Coordinator. I see the event planner has been removed. I'm not a hard and permanent no, but I'm a no today on events planner until, as I mentioned Thursday night, until Jason, we have a chance to look at the budget a little bit closer. I don't think it's imperative that we hire today an events planner. I would like to see a little bit more of finances before I make my personal decision on that. And the ramp manager, I mean, we're still, I know you're not gonna, if you advertise today, you're not gonna hire one tomorrow, I understand that, but we are still, 9+ months away from opening. I'm just not quite there yet, and that's my personal, view. But again, I wanna say again, as to the Trails Coordinator, if you wanna separate those out for, I guess, next meeting or whatever, however you wanna do that, I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but I will be a yes vote on that.
I would say I'm probably the same. I didn't know it was gonna be kind of laid out like this, but I'm ready to get the Trails Coordinator in place. The ramp manager, I just think we're a little bit early on. I think we can wait a little while longer and get those numbers on that. The Events Coordinator, I'm up in the air. That's not on the agenda tonight. But
Yes, Mr. Chalmers.
Regarding the ramp manager, my thought is that we go ahead and do it because as the building is completed, the sooner that person's on staff, the sooner they can get a better feel for what's going on in that building and the things that are gonna be possible, that kind of thing.
Are these already in this year's budget?
So there's no new monies being requested. The Trails Coordinator would be contract labor, no new monies being requested, and also no new monies being requested than what's already approved for the ramp manager as well. And that is the thought behind it, Mr. Challenberg, is to get whoever's gonna manage this large facility on boards, especially while we're wrapping up, this phase of construction, so that any feedback notes can be incorporated. Plus, there's a lot to learn with the Parks and Rec system. It's a big operation.
You've got to get a handle on the reservation system, whatever that thing is called, where you pay for it, all that stuff has to be worked out and figured out, so.
Sure.
If I can comment on that, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but the feedback I've gotten about fees to use the facility out there is not going over well with the public at all. I don't disagree about getting the ramp manager in place, but before I'm gonna be comfortable, when are we gonna see some figures for all of these employees the ramp area is gonna need? We're April of 27, May of 27. I know we're that far away, but we hired this young man to give us an estimate, and he sent us a nice email today, but when are we gonna see the figures?
Those financial projections were provided several months ago, both on the expense and revenue side.
Provided in October of 25, March of 26. But more hardened numbers will be provided next month when we start projecting budgets for 2027.
I think that's what will make us feel a little bit better about saying yes, is when we actually look at hard numbers, as you said, for
Yes, ma'am.
27. I think that will make us feel better
Okay.
with that. So that's a good idea.
Those numbers won't change from what you've seen in October 25 and March of 26. Those numbers will stay the same.
Because they're still projections.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Right, it's a projection.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm the same, I'm ready to get trails taken care of, so, we can get that done, we need to get that done.
So, and then probably the way that this was worded, you know, because again, that's contract labor and we have those funds in place. So I mean, that's not an employee
So
position.
was there a line item, did we put a line item in the budget that said ramp manager?
No, ma'am, that's just current salaries that are remaining in this year's calendar year
So
twenty-six
we have
budget.
leftover salaries.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So it's not in the budget.
No, sir. I mean, it's just no new monies that would need to be appropriated to fill that position.
Position is not. but the
That's
money-
probably that is the third most position in the entire 22 full-time organizational chart in Parks and Recreation.
When y'all did last year's budget, were y'all contemplating that?
100%. That's why it's in there.
Damon? I'll clarify my vote for yes. I was voting mainly for the ramp manager. But if we get close to the end or the finishing parts of it, it seems to me that we need somebody on the ground out there to help the completion of it as they're picking furniture out, things like that, all the furnishings, the various stuff that has to be moved in, the exercise equipment and stuff like that. It looks like to me that the mayor or our city planner cannot be out there every day. And I was thinking that the manager would be out there as we're making the completion. Am I thinking logical on that?
Yes, I mean, so the furnishing piece and the gym equipment piece, all that piece is already, we just started coordinating today the FF&E piece of the furnishing of the building. In fact, we have our kickoff meeting in like 2 weeks for that. The gym equipment piece is already handled, but as far as as far as someone being on ground, I mean, there'll be somebody on ground. The most crucial piece for the ramp manager of why we are recommending to bring them on Q4 is so they're in place for beginning of Q1. I'm giving them 60 days to get familiar with the entire process of Parks and Recreation to bring on and train additional personnel in March and April timeframe of the full-time and part-time personnel. So.
And it may take a couple of months to get somebody.
Sure.
Potentially.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I think that's.
I don't think you're training, I don't think the person you're hiring is gonna be unfamiliar with running a community center or Parks and Rec or having employee stuff, right? I mean, you're not gonna hire me. So obviously, I have no experience at any of that. So, you know, to train, you say you want 60 days to train?
Well, I mean, that's what.
Familiarize maybe, but surely this person doesn't need training to operate the person that you're gonna hire to run this type of facility.
I think there will be some training. I don't think they're gonna step in and know everything as far, I mean, we're in the process of establishing SOPs and policies and procedures now. I mean, that's all gonna be new to whomever this individual is that's hired for the ramp position.
Damon, can I make a point of clarification too?
Yes, sir.
So we have a consultant that's been working with us for a long time now.
18 months, yes, sir.
Right. And he was instrumental in Conway in walking through that project and getting that project ready to go.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And he's been also instrumental in outlining and recommending to Cersei what Cersei needs and when Cersei needs it so we can be successful when this thing opens.
Correct.
So that's where these recommendations are also coming from.
They're turning it over to us April 1.
Actually, March 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Is it April?
April 1.
Okay,
April
April
1.
1st.
Well, while we're talking about hiring a ramp manager or whatever, where are we on the Parks and Recreation? Who's the Parks Director? Who's the Assistant Director?
I'm the interim director, but I'm also the assistant director as well too, so.
Currently, the job is currently posted. We're receiving applications as we speak.
I'm getting them on board as quick as possible because the more they're familiar with the animal, the more they're entertained.
I mean, I guess my biggest question or question to you all is what's the biggest reserve with bringing this individual on Q4 when we know that this is a must-fill position that needs to start before any other position starts within the organizational chart? What is y'all's biggest concern with bringing them on?
the amount
sir.
of labor that is to be hired total, and the timing of hiring this labor, and the projections are just those projections, and your rental information that you put out, those are projected numbers, and as Mr. Randy said, I hope they're spot on or higher, I really do. But we don't know, we don't know what we don't know yet, so that money, we did not allocate for a ramp manager. It is just money that has gone unused from various reasons of employees leaving, or like our parks director, his salary was budgeted for 12 months, but he stepped away from his job. So his money is the money that we budget for him is left over in the 26 budget.
Yes, sir.
So it's that type of money that you're advocating that we use to pay for the new ramp director to hire now, right? Because he was not budgeted in 2026. Well, I mean, that's general funds money. That's not Parks and Recs money. That's not ramp managers money. That's general funds money.
I understand.
And, you know, we're hovering at, you know, I used this example the other night, that $90,000 to match the grant to build the parking lot. Well, it's 90,000 here and 90,000 there. You know, it's going to add up at some point, and it's all general fund money. I think it's just caution is where I'm coming from, and I agree with everybody that voted yes on that. I agree. Yeah, we're going to need one. We're going to need one at some point soon, so they can familiarize themselves with our facility versus wherever they came from and whatever they were doing. I just have a little bit of question, is it now? So it's not a question of if, it's when.
I agree. I think that, nearly every expenditure that we've faced over the last several years has come out to be more than anticipated. And most all the revenue from existing programs that was projected has come in less.
In the Parks Department? Not in 3 years, it hasn't, no, sir.
To begin with, it did.
Okay, yes, sir.
And it has come up some. But I think we just need to be awfully careful with our expenditures and save wherever we can, because, you know, I've said it before, if we create a monster, you have to feed it. If you don't feed it, it'll devour you. We need to be cautious about our expenditures, and that's all I'm doing, being cautious about money spent at this time.
Well, I'm sorry I missed the figures on the new needed employees, and I want to go find that documentation and thoroughly review it and probably ask you some questions, but at this point in time, I want to delay this decision.
Yes, sir.
Just as a summary, make sure, Richard, too, that I'm recapping this. Before these projects ever started, we spoke with other communities, anticipated around $1.5 million additional operational fees after the projections of expenses and revenue. I mean, y'all came in with conservative, about a third of that as far as what, so I mean, we're looking good as far as what was originally expected, and then the numbers that y'all have been able to project moving forward, revenues, offset expenses.
Yes, sir.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, absolutely. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I think I heard two different things, maybe I just didn't hear correctly. Thought I heard Damon say that the money was there, it was in the budget, it was not left over from things like the empty Parks and Rec Director position right now.
Well, our mindset in preparing the budget for 26, our mindset was for some monies to be in there with the potential. We've been forecasting this for over 12 months, the timeline. So for us, when we presented the budget for 26, we kind of already had that in mind. Obviously, we wasn't forecasting, you know, the director's retirement, but we had forecasted in that budget for the potential to bring on for Q4, and most specifically the Trails Coordinator position, knowing that would probably turn into a contract labor position.
But where was it forecasted? Where did you put it in the budget if you didn't put ramp?
Well, I wasn't driving that head at the time. I just know that that was a discussion. I wasn't driving the wheel at that time, but I do know, yes, sir. Nope. I just know that it was a discussion on our end. You know, so
Well, that's a whole nother topic for maybe another time, but you put money in your budget to fund the ramp managers, was anticipation of a ramp manager, but there's no ramp manager mentioned in your employees or in your line items. So it just makes me curious as how did, and again, I'm not pointing fingers at you, I know that wasn't, you weren't there.
I would assume, well, I mean, I was involved in the conversation, so I would assume that most of that to include the trail coordinator position, which we had a very good assumption it would turn into that, a contract labor position at some point. So it would be in the contract labor with requesting to move that from that line of accounting into the salaries line of accounting.
So it would have been labeled under contract labor more than likely.
Well, it 100% would. I mean, I can tell you the numbers we have remaining in contract labor right now, and it's substantial.
Well, I don't disagree that we need to watch our P's and Q's moving forward. However, I think everyone agreed, what I heard up here is everyone agreed that we need this directive. And I'm, the sooner the better as far as I'm concerned. It just will help the opening, will help the smooth operation, it'll help the transition, having that guy on sooner rather than
I agree, and if we're talking, I don't know how much that position is going to be paid, but it's 1/12 of that each month we don't do it, you know, and you know, I guess we don't have to do it till April, but that's wrong. I agree with Chris for sure. We need this person to be on board just as soon as we can because there's a lot of stuff. It's a big place, a lot of complexity. We need to, that person needs the best shot they can of understanding it, to be able to manage it well.
So we have 165,000 remaining in contract labor. So that's almost 80% of what we executed in the entire year of last year. So that's with that and you know, what's remaining from the director's position. That's just my thoughts of the funding piece for the ramp manager, but just a quick snapshot when looking at the contract labor, that's what we have remaining, is 165,000.
What was your estimate of range for salary for the ramp director?
60 to 70.
So that's 5,000 to 6,000 a month.
Does that include the 33%?
No, sir, it's not.
So, yeah, 8 to 9.
I don't disagree with Mr. Howell and Mr. Schallenberger. Yeah, we need to get this person on board, but until I can get comfortable with the figures for the other stuff, and again, I'm sorry I missed that. I just think we need to delay this till next month and bring it up again.
Fair enough.
Okay, and just to clarify, we do have these two items mentioned in the same agenda item, both the ramp manager and also trails coordinator. And so it was voted 5-3 with no's with those two things connected. We're about to open up the first phase of trails at Little Red River Park with a lot of maintenance. That's gonna be ongoing, obviously, and that's only gonna increase. This is a contract labor expenditure, so.
You wanna separate them and amend the agenda?
That's what I was just fixing to ask.
It's been voted down, okay? So I move that we amend the agenda and take up the trails coordinator as a separate matter.
Second.
Okay. All right, I have a motion, but just let's get that down real quick. Motion by Mr. Rainey to amend the agenda and separate those two positions, and we got a double second, so Mr. Cargill will go ahead and mark yours down as a second to amend the agenda. Jason, when you're ready, please call the roll on that.
Okay. Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Schallenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
Okay, so then I'll take a motion to go ahead and utilize contract labor funds so we can engage with somebody to maintain these trails and coordinate.
Do we have a range of what we're gonna offer somebody?
So yes, sir. I've sent that to Matt for review today, or actually, was it today, a couple of days ago or today? But we finalized some revised stuff. Sent it over to Will for some legality piece of it, but it's $2,000 a month.
What do you expect out of that?
So we'll have a checklist. I've got a full page of job descriptions and duties and responsibilities of this person, and it's very lengthy. I can send it to you all to review. Yes.
But you have a checklist, and if it takes him 10 hours a day, or 2 hours a day, or 30 a week, or 15 a week,
Yes, sir.
He's got a list.
Yes, sir.
And, okay.
It's coordinating with city staff, it's helping to organize events, it's addressing maintenance issues, either solo or if it's too big, then contacting our maintenance department or Parks and Rec department to address those things. It's pretty robust, supplying monthly updates to Parks and Rec and then an annual review as well,
Yes.
so it's pretty thorough.
I would think it'd be a good idea if you'd send the council. a
Sure,
copy.
absolutely.
All right, any
Don't-
additional
don't
questions?
go anywhere.
Okay.
Let us get through this vote and then I have some questions.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions as far as just the trails coordinator contract labor service? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to utilize contract funds for that purpose.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Cargill, a second by Mrs. Hale,
That is for trails coordinator, correct?
on a contract basis, correct, yes. All right, any further discussion? If not, Jason, please call the roll.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Challenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Hale, did you have something?
I did. So I texted you the other day about some issues that was being brought up. I was
Very good.
hoping that, Jeff Webb would be here tonight, but he's not. Do you have much to do? And if you don't, I'll talk to him, but with,
I don't have anything to do with the employee that works out there on a full-time basis, no ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
you're not gonna be able to answer my questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Jeff, just so you know, Jeff called me, I guess they have the set timing for the lights for the school systems with school opening, and they just got those requirements in this afternoon, that's why he's not.
That's fine, I just am curious a little bit, I shared that concern with you.
Yes, ma'am. I'd love to elaborate on it, it's just, it's unfortunately, it's just not my lane, and I can't control that piece.
Understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Damon. Okay, item number 3, request to waive Boundary Street improvement requirements for Hawks Homes development located at Taylor Road, Cartoon Drive, and East Line Road.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. Challenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Cargill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Rainey?
Yes.
Item number 4, new police department discussion considering the South Main and Recreation Way property as a potential site. Richard, you've got some updates for everyone?
Yes, sir. Did speak with Craft and Toll, Julie Luther Kelso, and David Roberts, which y'all are all familiar with. Has been working on stuff around the city for a long time. So had a great conversation with them this afternoon about the project. Just kind of gave them a sort of a history lesson of our PD and kind of where all we've been and where all we've gone and just had a great conversation with them. It was good to talk about just some planning stuff with them, just thinking through each of the sites. Talking about just cut to the chase on the corner property. I don't think they have any major hiccups with the property itself. Some of the same concerns that I've shared. You lose the potential of some expansion of the park locations. There were some discussions of potentially a championship field there. So you do lose that ability to expand that for sure. I think there was some, I wouldn't say concerns, but just there needs to be some careful decisions on the design as far as this is the doorway to our community, making sure that it is all, you know, within the design of the rest of the site. We've spent a whole lot of money and community dollars out there to make this just an amazing facility without the PD. So we want it to blend in and be attractive as the doorway to our community. So I think careful design is definitely. At the end of the day, when we were talking through everything, I mean, as I've said before, the best location in their mind by far is still BB Caps. I've said that. I think Chief agrees with that as well. And something that Julie particularly said to me that kind of stuck was, you know, we hope that there's always opportunities in our communities, especially in our main corridors and main thoroughfares, to do improvements, to be able to you know, redevelop and make those better. And I think, you know, the initial thought back when we purchased Eastline was to get sanitation off of BB Caps for really that reason, and then it was just a logical choice for the police station. When you look at the police station, just from a location standpoint, it still is the best location. It's centralized towns right next to our fire department. It's easy access all over town. You're in the middle of a residential neighborhood. You're near our parks. It's just a good spot to be in the community. But having said that, we know that there's costs associated with the relocation of sanitation. But her mind was, when you look at the best interests of the city, long-term, if we're hoping that other communities, other property owners look to redevelop, and when they have those opportunities to redevelop to make it better, it would be great for the city to show the same good faith effort to do the same. So, but she said that was a big but, and like, you know, still, you know, if the city would pursue the South Main corner there, you know, there's no major reservations other than what we talked about, and feel like it could be potentially, you know, as long as it's designed well. One of the things they mentioned was, you know, lean in heavy still, suggested to lean in heavy still on the Moore Avenue site, as far as, you know, keeping your PD shop out there, some of the stuff that they'll have in storage, making sure that that location is kind of tucked away over there, kind of out of sight from this really prominent entryway into our community. And so I think that would be something the chief had even mentioned, wanting to make sure that the East Precinct building is available for his officers to stop in from time to time when they're on patrol. So I think that's something that's doable as well. So it's something also that we never really thought about when we were contemplating the BB Caps location either. I think the discussion we've always had was relocating everything to that site just because the site's large enough. But in thinking through that, I mean, could be an opportunity to, for the same reasons, we're in a you know, a very visible corridor of our community. One of the reasons we're wanting to relocate sanitation was just to improve the kind of overall quality of that thoroughfare. You know, there could be the idea of going ahead and keeping it just like we would if we move it to the corner of the Moore Street being the shop and all of those things, and really focusing on a really nice corner, which could lead to, you know, another, what's that, 6.5, 7 acres or something like that total, including the water department land. Potentially, you know, keeping some sort of satellite recycling center on that facility off of BB Caps. I think there's some ways that you could potentially do that with that we've never explored or looked at. So I say all that to say, you know, I would you know, ask that if you know, y'all were open to this idea of waiting. We do have our construction manager coming on board, hopefully a selection by next month, and then we have them officially on board by the next month. But you know, if we were able to run some traps and look at BB Caps potentially again, just to rule it out completely, because I personally think it's the best location. I think the Crafton Toll's feedback was it's the best location. I think we've got some other feedback that said that it was the best location. But we just know that it's in a more expensive location. There's some associated costs that we definitely wouldn't have on the South Main. And so we own both properties. It's not anything that we have to rush on. I would say, you know, we could potentially just put to bed the other two properties if we could just take time maybe just to focus on that one property one more time, just to say that we did everything that we could do to make sure that that's not the right place, because we would hate to miss the opportunity to do something that improves the community as a whole, but also gives the police department a really good location to do so. if we have the time to do it, and which we do. I don't think it's anything that we're adding a bunch of time. We're still waiting on our construction manager, that process to really go and get into the design and the process. So we're waiting a little bit already on that, so I don't think we're adding a ton of time to do that, but anyways, that's just something to consider.
Mr. Stafford, I was drove down there today, I was sitting there at the corner. Do you think having the police department down there, I'd be interested in Sergeant too. I was sitting there thinking with all the investment we're making out there, that I'm watching, in my ward, some things, vandalism type things going on at Berry Hill Park already. Do you think it would create, I'm sitting there thinking, it might be some deterrent from, I hate to think that way, it's like you wanna have nice things, but, we're gonna have a lot of investment out there, and I was just sitting there thinking, well, I thought of two things. One, it could be in my mind, a deterrent from things that shouldn't be going on out there. But number two, I thought of the same thing that she said. I was sitting there thinking, if we did locate down there, does it make sense to think about, this may be too late in the game, I don't know. I'm still calling myself new, even though it's my second term, but I'm thinking, should we have Polk Stanley actually looking at it, since they did the design on the community center to where it's somehow, I'm not an architect, it just seems like, I thought of that. You don't want it to be an oddball looking.
Yeah.
With that huge investment we've got out there. Anyway.
No, the design is definitely a major consideration. I mean, we do have, you all have approved Hoffman to be the architect for the project. It would have to take another action to do that, but I mean, I think in the discussions with Barry on the design of it, I think it would be very intentional of us to say, look at the architecture around you, and this needs to fit in. And Barry's a good architect. He's creative, and hopefully he can do that. So.
Yeah. I know you got some expertise in there, so I was curious what your thoughts were. How about the deterrent piece of it? You had any thoughts around that?
To be probably too blunt, I guess, it's really hard to stop people from doing dumb things. It seems like, and the more we've gotten into opening some of these things, the more disappointed I am to see. I mean, the trail coordinator position is going to help me personally a lot, because I'm having to deal with four-wheelers tearing up our trails on a daily or weekly, because unfortunately people just don't respect the things. And Berry Hill we've had issues with. I don't know if a police department right next to it would stop some kid from vandalizing or adult from vandalizing something out there around there, but I don't think it would, to be honest.
Richard, is there a way for us to compare these two tracks financially?
Yeah, I mean,
at the same time, so we can look at one on paper, look at the other on paper.
I mean, I think it's probably, I would say it's pretty obvious that, like, the South Main, it's a greenfield site. It's ready. It's shovel ready. There's other costs that's going to be associated. I know that it's going to be more to develop it on BB caps. You just know that it is. I just don't know. I don't think we ever really have a good number of how much more that would be as far as.
I'm sorry, but I wanted to elaborate just on what you guys were saying. I remember talking through this on the BB Caps property when East Line Road was purchased. And some of the things that were brought up about East Line is, one, we don't own it all, but we know that. The Water Department owns it.
Water Department owns it.
Two would be demolition of what's there. And the biggest part of the demolition is the recycle building, the office, which was paid for with grant money. And then there was a thought of, can we demo the building, or do we have to relocate it or pay the grant back? Or there were a lot of questions surrounding that building as well. And Jesse may be able to answer this better, but isn't a large portion, are we still in the floodplain after the redraw?
I haven't checked that certain area, but I could look.
So even if it is in the floodplain, we could still build, but it would require, at the time we were thinking about it, we were in the floodplain, but I understand the maps have been redrawn. It would require elevation higher than
most likely the design of the building you would push to the front. You'd push it to BB Caps. The parking lot would be in the rear, kind of similar to what it is now. I don't think there would be, I think there's a design out there that could not, you wouldn't have to fill in. I don't think you'd sit the building far back as the fire station is without looking at the layout itself, but I think you'd have to push it a little bit further up to the front. And I think there's a design out there that's where you wouldn't have to just overly fill the entire site, if that's what you're kind of getting towards.
Well, yeah, but overall, I was just kind of restating what you had said. One of the reasons that BB Caps really didn't make a big splash was cost associated with everything before you ever start digging a footing for a new police station. And to maximize the square footage like we feel like we need to with PD, and to make a 50-year building out of whatever we build, we're gonna need to maximize every dollar, and that's pulling a lot of dollars away from what we could potentially build by going to BB Caps, it would seem. So.
Yeah, and like I said, I can't stand up here and argue that it wouldn't be, that's the case. You're gonna be able to build more building out for the same amount because there's gonna be costs associated with BB Caps that you don't. I merely talked to you from a city planning perspective, looking at the overall, number one, location is the best for the PD, I think, just period. But the opportunity to revitalize an area of town that kind of needs it, and we get the opportunity, you don't get the opportunity to do that, you know, very often. This would be our shot at doing it, basically, if we wanted to do it.
The additional feedback that Richard was alluding to, Mr. Brewer had put me in contact with Lindsey Williams. I don't know him. I know y'all probably know him well. I had a great conversation with him today. So I'm looking forward to talking to him more. But we talked for quite some time. But I believe he's reached out and spoken to several of y'all. He's got quite a bit of experience with the state police department. To my understanding, these are notes that I jotted down, but he was responsible for all the facilities with state police, and he also helped with the design process as well as construction and operations for 5 new headquarters around the state. And so he was just very generous and said, hey, he's willing to offer, you know, any type of assistance or feedback just from his years of experience. So he's been tracking this project as it's been discussed and stated in the newspaper and that type of thing. So just to kind of distill it down, he had some concerns about the size and location of the entire PD being at the East Precinct on Moore Street property. So I'll just kind of, from our discussion, I asked him if he wanted me to share this feedback with y'all, and he was fine with that. But so he wasn't real high on that as far as the location for the main, but it could be a supportive, you know, facility as everybody's been discussing. He said, of course, the WW Ford location is very prominent, but of course there's some high costs associated with that. He said if he was going to rank them just as far as like best use, best location for the city, he concurred that BB Caps would probably be the best option. Of course, there's going to not necessarily cost-wise, but the best option as far as just general location. And then he was also talked up the Main Street location too, as just far as everything that's been discussed here. You know, a good location, city owns it, you know, that type of thing. So I just wanted to share his feedback. He stated that, you know, overall, all things considered, BB Caps he felt like was the best location, but it would certainly take more due diligence to kind of do some cost assessment on what does that even mean, you know, and are there some creative ways to make that work? But he spoke very highly of the Main Street location as well. So I just want to share that feedback with y'all, and thank you, Mr. Brewer, for putting us in contact.
Can I ask the chief a question? So at one time, right after this Main Street location became a subject of us talking about putting you there, I'd ask you about response times and where, if you were looking at the city as a whole, where the Main Street location fell. So
if we were responding from the actual building, yes, it would add to the, obviously to say, I use River Oaks as an example a lot because we have a lot of houses in there, which is why I think keeping the East Precinct as a supportive location, because there are times where the officers are in their had to get out of the car and they're doing reports at the building, so. But if they're responding from East Precinct, then that would be a good location. But otherwise, I think we have a patrol division that are supposed to be out patrolling.
And they are.
I know.
just didn't want someone from the public not understanding that just because it's out on South Main doesn't mean that we can't take care of business closer.
I was all in favor of down on BB Caps when we first started talking about it, cause I wanted to get sanitation away from here. But if you look at the fire department elevation, you're talking about a similar, in my opinion, similar elevation situation across the street. I thought East Line would be the answer, and yes, it was gonna cost us some money to move them out there. It's not the answer in my opinion. It floods. I'm really concerned about that, because I didn't know that when we bought it. And I don't think we can move everything of sanitation out there that needs to be there. Out of school, Todd?
No, it would be tight for us both.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But my thing right now is we're talking about a whole bunch of new salaries. We're talking about Carmichael Center. We're talking about everything. We have a shovel-ready tract of land that's in a good location, in my opinion. And we wouldn't have to spend the money to demo the sanitation. And quite frankly, I like the drop-off right there. Okay, that's personal to me, rather than having to drive out the East Line Road. Todd's doing, in my opinion, we'd ask him to clean it up. And if you've been looking at it down there, it's looking a whole lot better. It's never gonna look like a brand-new police station. But we have got to get a police station. And, you know, I don't disagree with anything that Crafton and Toll have talked about. That's their job, to make us think about it. I think we need to decide to build a new police station out on South Main and get the process started.
No, I don't disagree that we need to get it started. I wanna make sure, I mean, we're talking about, Roger's mentioned multiple times, 50 years. He wants that police station to be there for 50 years. So if it's a 6-month process where we evaluate sanitation versus South Main, I'm good with that. I mean, we're working towards getting a station. I wanna make sure, if we're looking at something that's gonna be there that long, I wanna make sure we make the right decision. And it would be a financial decision in my mind. I mean, everybody's told us that BB Caps is the best location, but we don't know what's gonna cost. But saying we don't know what it's gonna cost isn't enough in my mind. In my mind, we need to put pencil to paper, have somebody put pencil to paper and say, this is what it's gonna cost to go to BB Caps versus this is what's gonna cost to go to Main Street. These are the benefits to BB Caps. This is the benefits to Main Street. And evaluate these two sitting side by side. And then we can make an informed, clear decision. Right now, I don't feel like I can based off the information I've got.
Did we do some of that like a couple months ago? Did you guys have some sheet where you compared Main Street and?
That was just, there were some really generic estimates on some of that. It was general, just we threw number relocation costs of $2 million. It's like that was really a general estimate on the relocation, and then we had, you know, the purchase price of the other property factored in, but so very general.
If we save some money on the police station, the sergeant is happy about it. Is that money we can do more flat trails? Cause I like flat trails. And lower the membership fees, lower the membership.
No.
What?
Cause you're issuing debt to pay for the police station. You gotta have you have to have a stated purpose.
It was kind of a jest. My point was, if we spend less money, we got more money.
Mr. Howell, I don't disagree with you wanting to compare, but there's nothing to compare about expense-wise, because we're gonna spend 10 times as much, 20 times as much to move sanitation and try to get them all out on East Line when the director back there said they may not fit. I mean, I'm sorry, we got a shovel-ready spot on South Main and we need to get started.
Well, once again, I would like to have it evaluated. I would like to know if it's 10 times. It's 2 times. It's 1 time. I don't know. I don't do this every day. I count on the experts to do it for me. And so I want the experts to take a look at it and come back and say, hey, here are your choices. And Don, you might be right on the money. It might be 10 times more. But until I see an expert say that, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Chris. We're talking about knowing on the front end, we're gonna tear something down that's gonna cost a lot of money. Go out there and try to install it out there that's gonna cost a lot of money and may not have the best fit anymore.
But that's not all we're talking about. We're not all just talking about money. We're talking about the best place for the station long term. That's my point. My point is, I mean, it's not gonna, what's it gonna cost to evaluate this?
I mean, that's what our construction manager could do. Once they get on there, there'll be a pre-construction fee, no matter what we do. That'll just be part of the pre-construction evaluation.
And what kind of time frame are we looking at?
We've got we'll have them selected, hopefully, what day, what was March? This is September will be selection, contract, October. You know, we could probably have something by November, a report.
So, I mean, all I'm saying, Don, is I would feel better about my decision, about spending the citizens' money and making the best decision for Searcy long-term, having these 2 evaluations side by side, rather than going, this was gonna cost too much, let's put it here. I don't think that, I think we owe it to ourselves and to the city and to the future of the city to evaluate it. And you might be right, I'm readily admitting that you might be right, but I wanna know for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the chief a question he may not ever talk to me again. Is it gonna affect your all's ability to protect the citizens of Searcy if the Main Police Department is on South Main versus BB Caps?
It will not.
One thing, the timeline that we are also waiting on is we don't have funds right now. We still have to work through the bond process. I think the last conversation I had with Paul Phillips on the timeline was the next month we'll have a resolution, but we wouldn't be talking about issuing bond funds until potentially the end of the year. So there is the process that we still have to work through, even getting the funds to do any of it. So that's not until the end of the year. We wouldn't have those dollars.
Richard,
at best.
So, I mean, the ball's already spending as far as a construction manager.
Yes.
Right, and so I think what you led with is that doing this type of due diligence evaluation isn't gonna dramatically affect the overall timelines of the project regardless.
And that was kind of my point. We're waiting anyways. We're waiting on things anyways. So it's not, we're not starting construction next month. Even if we decide today to do it on there, we still have to wait. We have to wait for the construction manager to come aboard. We have to wait for the bonds to be issued to be able to start spending money. So yeah, there is still some waiting that we're having to do over the next three months or so, 3 or 4 months.
Mr. Morris, did you have something?
Yes, 2 things. One is emergency responses, as I indicated when we were talking about more. It's very important to me. Chief, ballpark estimate, what percentage of true emergency type calls are responded out of the police station where an officer is there and has to go down and get in the car and drive off for the response versus a patrol officer somewhere out in the town that may be just anywhere on patrol that takes that call. Can you put a percentage on which one out of the police station versus a patrol officer out on patrol?
Probably a very, very uneducated answer. I may be completely off. I'd say 20% maybe. I mean, sitting here at a council meeting, we haven't heard sirens yet, so I'm not saying we've had emergency traffic tonight, but it's hard for me to say, really.
But the vast majority of calls are responded to
Right.
by
Patrol.
cars already out in the street.
I know when I was here at City Hall during the day, a lot of times you'd hear the siren and going by here going to Ray Street or whatever, to turn one way or other. So I know that there are calls and are answered out of the police station. My other comment was, I'm really concerned with something that Ms. Rainey has brought up, and that's the recycling, because we have eliminated the curbside recycling. And the thought of moving recycling all the way to the very east end of town, that puts 4, 5, even maybe 6 miles from people that live in the very western part of a town. Whereas the present recycling is right in the center of the heart of town. And I use Elm Street a tremendous amount. And I see people pulling in there all the time, popping lids on their car or SUVs, and the folks getting the recycling items out. I really hesitate to move it all the way to the east end of town. I have a problem with that, recycling.
Mr. Morris, I just want to clarify, like, part of the due diligence I was talking about was to not move the recycling. And this is something I have not talked to Todd about, so he might be staring daggers at me right now. But like, my point was, our original talk and discussion about BB caps was to develop the entire tract as the PD compound, moving everything out there. And maybe it's not moved out there all at once, but eventually there's enough space to move PD shop. This was part of the storage and everything out in that one location, which I think would be, he would love that, having it all in one compound. No, my point was that with the discussion of talking about with it being on Main and keeping more as that satellite, we never really talked about ever keeping more as that satellite, and just building a PD, the new office with the vehicles parked out, secured, everything else that they need on that corner, and then using the remainder of the space to keep recycling at that location, because you've got a lot of acreage there. Instead of moving the entire shop, you could potentially build an expensive facility to do that next door to Cintas, who's most likely never going to move. Anyways, but that's some of I was not talking about, that was the things we wanted to, or I wanted to potentially explore, is that, like I said, haven't talked to Todd, don't even know if that's a possibility, but all I'm saying is it's something that we haven't explored, and it would be, I think, worth exploring in my mind.
We still don't have a place to move sanitation to, right? If we even went down that road.
Well, that was my point, was to explore recycling, keeping recycling there, most of the recycling at that point, or somewhere on that site, and the rest at East Line, if that was a possibility. Just something I haven't, our conversation with Crafton told us today, got my mind swirling, just bringing it up.
How many acres are at BB caps? What's that land, and how many acres at Main Street?
I think the BB caps is 6.5, 7-ish, something like that total, if you count the water department's land, and then 8 is the corner.
8 at Main Street, so it's larger, so we have more room there.
Yeah, which I wouldn't recommend that we build it on the entire 8 acres.
Sure, yeah.
So Chief, if we decided for some reason to go ahead and move to the BB caps location, would you not keep the east precinct at that point?
I don't think it's a terrible idea. I mean, we're technically moving further away from our current building, and we always had the east precinct out there.
I just had never thought about that notion of keeping it until today, because we'd always talked about relocating everything there. But as we talked about the satellite, the chief said, I mean, it's not that much further to Main, or to that corner to BB Cap, so it kind of would make sense to keep it there as a place for his officers.
And bring that project cost down some.
Yeah, and it could bring that project cost down some, because you're just building the building. Now, there are site considerations there as well that we don't know exact numbers on, so.
I think the question is just, it's not gonna affect the overall timeline either way. Is there time to do due diligence, to explore both options, get the information to y'all, and then make a decision, keep trucking?
I think another thing we need to consider, if we're looking at the BB Caps location and what's involved in transforming it into a place that would fit for the police department is the fact that there's probably not room for a lot more out of the sanitation department on East Line, and it floods. So we need to be ready to find a place for the street department, the water company, the water department, their situation, the sanitation. We may have to look at another location to place some of these facilities. And so, if so, where is that gonna be and what's it gonna cost, if that is necessary?
Jesse, do you have something?
Yeah, I looked at the proposed mapping for the floodway, and the proposed mapping shows the back 50 to 60 feet of sanitation is still gonna be in the floodway.
Floodway? So, can you tell how far is it from Baby Caps to the floodway? Can you see that in footage?
I cannot get that in footage, I was talking to Todd here, what it looks like for him. I look like I'm gonna see.
Yeah, back where we park the trucks at, we know that area, it's not flooded so much since I've been there, but it does get out of that creek. And I can just imagine, 20 years that it's floated some of the trash cans down the creek and everything. It's really got up to there a couple of times.
Well, I understand, Richard, you said that, move it closer, I mean, we still have setbacks from the highway, but I'm just curious what setbacks from the highway and setbacks from the floodway, what does that path look like through there?
Depends on the design. If you don't put parking between the building and the highway, I mean, the setback can be down to 15 feet at the highway from the right of way. So, if you've got parking, that's if you don't do parking between BB Caps in the building, you can go down to 15 if you do the parking on the side, meaning you load it on the side, but otherwise it's a 45-foot setback. But if you do parking on the side, you can then push it up to the front of up to 15 feet.
From BB Caps to this is approximate, from BB Caps to the creek is approximately 390 feet. So if you're talking about 60 feet, that leaves you 330 feet to the road.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. We got the chief of police saying that he could protect us from South Main. We got the sanitation guy saying he would be jammed up if we moved out there. There's gonna be expense involved in tearing down and relocating sanitation to build the police department there. It's all gonna cost more than using the site on South Main. So I'm gonna move that we build the new police department on South Main.
I'll say that.
We have a motion by Mr. Rainey, a second by Mr. Kirkman. Any further discussion?
Yes, one thing, please. I'd like to not do that tonight, but get a chance to engage Lindsay Williams and the new construction manager. Because I agree that there's gonna be money spent, but let's make sure we understand the full picture. I remember when we built the fire station over by River Oaks, we had money to do 2 bays or 3 bays. And we looked at it and said, it'd be better if we had that extra bay. We went ahead and said, yeah, we'll take more money from the 8-year plan to do that because it's gonna be a long-term investment. And I wonder if the same thing is true here. And given the fact that we can't really start anything significant until the first of the year because we have no money, how about we delay it and give a chance for Lindsay, who's an expert, and to just look at the whole thing again. That's my thought.
The reason I seconded the motion is, as a taxpayer, I'm tired of overspending. I mean, it's tax dollars, and sometimes I think we lose sight of that. It's gonna be less expensive on South Main. I don't care what we do, how we look at it, it's gonna be less. I'd still like to vote on it.
Chief, I'd asked you about meeting with Lindsay. Has he contacted you, or have you talked to him, or?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one more question, if I may.
Yeah.
We're talking about doing this as a bond issue against the franchise fees, I believe. Would that money cover the relocation of things to make way for a
Yes.
police department?
Yes.
All right, the franchise fees at this time are going to the general revenue.
That's correct.
So they're used for the operation of the city. All right, what is gonna have to be cut back if those funds are taken from the general revenues and used for the bonds? And if so, where is the money going to come from to cover what they were paying for out of general revenues?
It's 1 million a year, right? That is what was estimated to get a $12.5 million bond.
That's right.
But every dollar we spend out of $12.5 million to site prep BB caps is $1 less than we can spend on construction of the police station, which shrinks its overall size. This is the way I see that. And am I wrong? If somebody want to correct my math, but I think to maximize the size of the police station, you have to go in a different direction than BB caps.
Yeah, I think the general statement consistently is, I think it's obvious that the Main Street location is gonna be less expensive. We just don't know how much less expensive. I think the general consensus is, from the feedback we've gotten from Lindsay and Crafton Toll and others, is that BB caps would be the most ideal, but we just don't know what that means as far as cost goes.
And that's where I'm at. I don't like to make decisions where I don't. And Don, you could be 100% right. You probably are. But I don't know how much you are right until they get those totals and those figures to us. And I'd like to know that before I vote for that site. And if it's more and it doesn't make sense, I got no qualms on putting it one or the other. I don't have any affinity for either site. I just want to make the best decision.
Basically, the South Main site that we would call shovel ready for construction. I mean,
Is it shovel ready?
yeah, I mean,
yeah, there's nothing to clear.
It's cleared and fairly level.
Right. Yeah, as Richard opened up, it just, yes.
And it is paid for.
Correct.
And I mean, there is apples to apples. I mean, there would be probably, I would estimate, it would be more, if, like, let's just say, assume they're both shovel ready, right? Clear sites. I think it would cost more to build it out at the corner just because we're really wanting it to look and fit into our 100,000 square foot building across the street. We're wanting to screen it from our water park and all that. So I do think there's gonna be some, especially when it comes to site considerations, there's gonna be some more dollars that we wouldn't be spending on BB caps that could potentially offset. Those are just some of the unknowns that we still just don't know at this point. I'm just saying. But
Richard, do you want to mention about the intersection there, the development of that intersection at some point in the future, whether that's a light or a roundabout or something?
yeah, there will be traffic increase, obviously, with even just with the building going to the community center building being built. There's obviously going to be a lot more traffic out there. So there, at some point in time, there will be a consideration for a light or a roundabout. So we want to make sure that whatever is designed out there, you know,
anticipates whatever
that is too.
Right.
So.
And bear in mind, it is a state highway.
Yes, that's right.
That's
right. Okay, any further discussion? We do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion before we vote?
I still didn't answer my question. Jason, you could probably help me on that. Are our revenues increasing to the point that, we could lose that $1 million from the franchise fees from the general revenues and still be okay?
Well, like I've reported the last 3 months, we've been flat this year.
Right.
So we would hope, the expectation would be that increases as we add new businesses and new things into the city, that our revenues will go up. I wouldn't think they would go down.
No, they're not going down.
But,
I'm just wondering if the revenues would increase sufficiently to begin retiring those bonds.
I would think within a couple of years, the growth would have absorbed that.
Okay.
for the question, call for the vote.
Okay, all right. If there's no other discussion, then please call the roll.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
No.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg.
No.
Okay, motion passes. Item number 5, selection of road trails as the trail build firm for the ADPHT Trails Project and authorization for the mayor to negotiate a contract with Road Trails.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mrs. Hale. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.
Yes.
Item number 6, set a public hearing for September 8th, 2026 at 5 PM for comment on an AEDC Community Development Block Grant.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mrs. Hale. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Item number 7, approval of change order for Janet Street intersection improvements.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Item number 8, Dan Foss Tax Back Economic Development Incentive.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
I have a motion by Mr. Morris and a second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill.
Yes.
I would like to say thank you to Reagan and Shane for being here this evening, and thank you all for your investment in Cersei and continued growth. Great work.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Item number 9, SRO contracts for Riverview and Cersei School Districts.
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mrs. Hale. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Item number 10, enter into an agreement with Davidson Engineering for the design of Fern Cowan Rogers Park.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mr. Cargill. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Item number 11, authorization to apply for a state Department of Parks and Tourism Outdoor Recreation Matching Grant for trail amenities and parking.
Motion to adopt.
I have a motion by Mr. Morris,
Second.
second by Mr. Schellenberg. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Item number 12, liens to be certified to the White County Tax Collector against certain properties in the city of Cersei as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances. I have a motion by Mr. Brewer, second by Mr. Schellenberg. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg.
Yes.
Item number 13, declaring 508 West Woodruff a nuisance property.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mrs. Hale. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Item number 14, establishing the millage rates for 2026 to be collected in 2027.
Motion to adopt.
I move we suspend the rules.
Oh, yeah, it's an ordinance, I'm
We
sure.
have a motion by
I'll
Mr.
second.
Rainey, second by Mr. Morris.
It's an ordinance.
Any further discussion?
Yes. Millage is remaining the same, 0.8 mils, right?
All right, please call the roll.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Cargill,
Yes.
Mrs. Hale,
Yes.
Mr. Rainey,
Yes.
Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes. Now make a motion to adopt after.
Let's read the title real quick.
An ordinance fixing and establishing the property tax millage to be collected for the city of Cersei for 2026, declaring, 2025.
I was making sure that year was correct in the title, 2025.
It is.
That is, okay. For 2026, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, I'll take that as a motion,
Motion
Mr.
to
Morris, we have a second. Second by Mr. Carville, any further discussion?
I always like to say that's the lowest the state law will allow.
That's right. All right, please call the roll.
Mr. Carville.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale. Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
This ordinance being necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare and emergency is hereby declared and it shall be in effect, full force and effect from and after its passage.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause. Motion by Mr. Schellenberg,
Second.
second by Mr. Rainey. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Carville.
Yes.
All right, item number 15, the budget adjustment ordinance.
Need to suspend the rules.
Motion by Mr. Rainey, second by Mr. Brewer. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Carville.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance 2026-01, the budget for the city of Searcy for the calendar year 2026, waiving the requirement for competitive bidding with respect to certain expenditures, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Do we have a motion to adopt the ordinance? Motion by Mrs. Hale,
Second.
second by Mr. Rainey. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Mr. Schellenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Carville.
Yes.
Mrs. Hale.
Yes.
Mr. Rainey.
Yes.
The need to maintain the fiscal affairs of the city of Searcy in accordance with the requirement of law being necessary for the preservation of public peace, health, safety, and welfare, and emergencies hereby declared, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage.
All right, we got Mr. Morris on the motion and Mr. Brewer on the second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Schellenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Kirkman.